Hi everyone, Joy Grace here. If you want to see how I got this look today using the Natasha Denona Star palette, just keep watching. Alright, so to start out, I'm going to prime using the Touch and Sol Glassy Skin Primer. This is a really nice moisturizer, and my skin is feeling really dry this morning, so I'm going to slather that on. Alright, and next I'm going to take some sunscreen. This is the First Aid Beauty Zinc Oxide Sunscreen. It's a nice mineral sunscreen. It does have a bit of a tint, so if you're light, maybe too dark, it's a little too dark for me. Kind of has a gritty feel to it too that I'm not crazy about, but it was one of the samples in the last year's Sephora sunscreen bag, where they include a bunch of deluxe size samples and a full size, and so that's one of them that was included in last year's bag. Highly recommend that bag. It's a great price for all the products, even full price, let alone if you get it during the VIB sale, which is what I did. And the sunscreen's expiration dates are all spread out. Like the full size is the furthest out, which I think is like 2023, so you've got plenty of time to use all those products. Alright, now we're going to start with under eye prep, and I'm sure everyone has heard by now that Becca is closing down, but first off I'm going to go in with the Becca, this is their blue anti-fatigue primer. And this is just a nice, I feel like it has maybe silicones in it, so it's a nice smoothing concealer, like smooths out any fine lines you have under your eye. This is one of their, and you don't need a lot, you can see how little I'm putting on because it really spreads out nicely. Alright, next I'm going to go with the second under eye primer. This is their color corrector and the shade light medium, probably their most well-known product. But it's a really nice peach under eye corrector, and you can see just how little you need. I grabbed just a little more. When I heard they were closing down, I immediately stocked up, and I'm glad I did because it's already sold out pretty much everywhere. This one, the texture, obviously it has peach to correct or help correct. It doesn't fully correct. That's why you need a concealer on top, or at least I do. But the consistency is very creamy, and so very hydrating. You're not going to have dry, cracking concealer with this one. And I just pat that in with my finger, making sure I have really dark side eyes coming up here to the nose, so I make sure to bring it up there as well. Alright, now is when I go in with foundation, and today I'm going to be using my Dalton Hydrabalm Serum Infused Foundation in the shade Light. This is a very nice hydrating formula. Normally there's a swirl of skincare benefits, so it's very hydrating, very dewy. The shade is slightly off, so I'm going to be mixing it with the Missha BB Cream in the shade number 21 Light Beige. And this has more of like almost a gray undertone that's a little light for me, and so mixing the two is perfect. And it kind of helps tone down just a little bit of that dewiness from the Dalton. The Dalton is very full coverage too, by the way. So I just mix a little bit of that and start dotting it over my face to spread out the product. And then from there, start blending with my beauty blender. I've been suffering a little bit with masking, as I'm sure most people are if you're having to go into the workplace. I've started going into work, into the office 2 days a week, and I can tell even that is starting to affect my skin. So I'm trying to really use chemical exfoliants such as, BHAs too, and, my adapalene gel, of course, to really help exfoliate and get that those bacteria off. Hopefully you can see how dewy that's leaving my skin. It's very nice. And I bring it onto the eyelid as well, just to kind of even that area out. Bring it down the neck as well. You want to really take your time here to blend and push the product into the skin so that it looks natural, as natural as it can look with foundation on. But yeah, you want it to be blended here. So now we're going to go in with the Marc Jacobs concealer. This is in the shade number 2 Alive. You can see I have paint on it. I got this at TJ Maxx too long ago, but I still love it. It still works. So I'm really trying to use it up. And it's a little, I don't know, it matches my skin better in the summer. I feel like it's maybe slightly dark. It's not, certainly not a brightening concealer on me, but it goes nice with this foundation since it is a little bit darker. And again, I like applying this with my finger. Just, I feel like it melts the products into the skin better, the warmth of your finger. And this is like the perfect time to use this Marc Jacobs concealer, because I notice when it's really cold, you know, the dead of winter, it's very hard, and it is hard to apply because of that. Right now it's perfect because it's kind of, I don't know, the house is about like 66 degrees. When it gets to be summer and it's really hot, the product almost melts. It's like wet. It's not fun to apply, so I'm trying to really use it this time of the year. Boom, 3 products. That's all it takes to get rid of dark circles, right? Okay. All right, now we are ready to do our face. Bring color to the face, I should say. All right, so to do that, I'm gonna go in with the Doll 10. This is their complexion enhancing palette, and it's just a beautiful, I actually really love this palette. It's one of my favorites. You've got a contour shade here, 2 bronzers that I just mixed. You've got 2 blushes here. This one is matte. This one is got some shimmer to it. I'd almost say super fine glitter. So I'm not super crazy about that. I wish it was actually shimmer or just matte. And then you've got, this is a brightening powder. I think you can use under your eye to set it. And then you've got 2 highlighters, which I actually really like. This one's too dark for me to use. It's like a rose gold, but it's beautiful on the lid if you want to use it just for kind of a no makeup day, light makeup day. And then this one's really pretty. I use it as a highlighter. All right, so first I'm gonna go in with that contour shade, and I'm gonna grab, this is my Becca, I don't know what they call this, a kabuki brush, but it's natural hair. It's very nice. Super expensive, full price, but I happened to see it at TJ Maxx one day, and I grabbed 2 because I loved it that much. And it was such a great price. I think it was around 12 bucks. This contour shade is really nice. It's, I guess, the perfect, I'm not great at contour, but this palette really blends effortlessly. This palette is also great. Like I said, you can use that rose gold shimmer on the lid. It's beautiful. And then you can use these bronzers. You've got a cool tone shade, the taupey shade, and then more of like just a neutral, almost warm, light brown shade. So you could do a full look with this if you wanted a natural full look with this. Yeah, so now I'm just going in with these 2 bronzers right here, just tapping into them. There's definitely pigment here, so you want to go easy. And I just bring that down. I'm just basically doing the 3 motion where you're doing your cheekbones, or under the cheekbones, your forehead, and then under the chin, bringing that down the neck. All right, let's evaluate. That's a pretty nice bronzing look. Normally I have my hair up, but I decided to do it first, curl it first today. Okay, time for blush. All right, time for blush. I'm gonna go in with this light pink shade. It's just a beautiful blush here. And I'm gonna take my rougher number 4 brush. I recently bought their complete set, I think it was, or their holiday set, whatever. It was a good price. Again, these are natural brushes. I tend to prefer natural brushes that are well made in Japan. They're just so nice to apply and blend. And you can see how pretty that is. And I just kind of start in the back and bring it slightly up to the front. Dalton has a new blush that I really want to try out. It's their Genius Cheek blush. I think the shade is Inspiration, but it looks kind of similar to this. It's very much like a light pink baby doll, but I think it has more shimmer in it, and not this kind of shimmer. I think it'd be a shimmer that I like, but I haven't bought it yet. Everything I've tried from Dalton has been really good. I'm surprised they're not more popular, that people aren't talking about them as more than they are. They have a big social media presence. And they just come out with good products, especially complexion products. Every single foundation I've tried, I've loved. And I'm obviously loving their complexion powders. All right, and then for highlighter, I'm going to go in with these two shades here. Focusing more on the white shade, which is Bright Lights Big City. And I'm bringing that, as you can see, above the brow and also under the brow to kind of highlight the brow bone. A little bit down the bridge of my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Not that it matters anymore because we've all got masks on when we leave the house, right? All right. Now for the fun part, the Natasha Denona Star palette. My first Natasha Denona palette, I dreamed about this palette, lusted after it for probably 2 years before I finally made the plunge and got it. As I'm sure you all know, you have this side, which is a little more grungy, and then this side, which is a little more girly. And it's just a beautiful palette. So let's dive in, shall we? All right, so to start off, I'm going to take my Sonia G Classic Crease Brush, which is just a nice blending brush. And what look do I want to do? I think I want to use this Bellatrix color that's in the top. It's like a nice shimmery pink on the lid. So let's see. All right, so I'm going to start out with this color here, which is, I believe, Titania. It's a nice, almost, definitely more medium. It's not light, medium brown. And I'm going to just start in the crease and start blending that out. And you can see how pigmented these are. You do not need to dig your brush in. All right, now I'm going to shift over. I want to take this medium color, the middle color here. It's a nice shimmery color. Sometimes I use it all over the lid, actually. It looks a little dark in the pan, but I don't know. You can build it up to be dark, but you can also sheer it out to where it's a pretty all over lid shade. But this is the color Supernova. And I will take my Natasha Denona number 9 brush, which is, I do not recommend her brushes actually. I feel like the hairs are cut, and so they are very scratchy, very, very scratchy. Whereas the Wayne Goss and Sonia G brushes are all uncut and therefore super soft. So I'm just going to use this in the outer corner and bring that up kind of into the crease. All right, and now I'm going to take my glitter glue primer. This is the NYX primer. I just like to use just a tad of this on the part where it will have shimmer, just so it's super shiny and no fallout. And it helps it not transfer into the crease, which is something I have a problem with. You just need a tiny bit. I've had this for probably a year at this point, and you can barely tell I've used it. All right, so I'm going to go in with my finger into this Bellatrix shade. Like, look at that. It's stunning. All right, and then I'm going to go back in with my brush and kind of blend the edges. I'm going for like a really easy eye look today. It's Saturday. I don't have a lot to do other than run a few errands across town. So I don't want to look super, super dramatic. Go into the grocery store, right? All right, and now I'm just going to do the other eye. All right, do we like that? I think I do. But I do want to blend just a little more, so I'm going to take, oh, I took the wrong color, Supernova, and just kind of blend those edges. And then I'm going to take the brush that has just a little bit of the leftover Titania shade and just try to diffuse those edges. To help in blending, one of the brushes I got recently was this super tiny, but probably the softest brush I have. I think it's Brown Squirrel Goat Hair, but it's this Cayudo. Can you see that? Cayudo brush, I guess is how you say it. And it's just super nice at blending. It feels like a feather brushing across your eyelid, but it is really helpful, really useful in blending out the edges here. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, now I want to go in with brows because I have to say my sparse brows. I'm going to use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3.5. This is my favorite eyebrow pencil, so I'll do this off camera just so you don't have to see. All right, so to finish up the under eyes, I'm just gonna go in. I can see on my end that there's just, I don't think it's fell out, but I just always like to go in with like just a tad bit more of concealer just to really like clean up that darkness there. I have a line there, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I slept on the pillow wrong. All right, and then from there, I'm gonna take this brush that I used with the light titania color. I'm gonna do just a tap of titania, and I think this is Flesh. Yes, titania and Flesh. It's this shade and this shade. And obviously this brush is very large, so I'm gonna pinch it and go up underneath the eye. All right, and then to brighten up the inner corner, I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. I think nobody uses this as a brow highlighter, but I use it as an inner corner, or sorry, waterline highlighter. Okay. All right, almost done. So we could be done here, or we can do a liner. And my favorite method for liner these days is actually taking just a dark brown eyeshadow. For the final look, I want to add just a little bit of definition along the lash line. So I'm going to take, my favorite method has been actually not using eyeliner, but to use just a really dark brown or whatever color eyeshadow you want. And the brush that I like to apply, that I found is the absolute best, is the Wayne Goss number 8 brush. And it is just a super precise brush. You can see how thin it is. It is, I believe, squirrel hair. And it's just super precise, super tiny, and gets right up in the lash line the way I want. So to do this, I'm going to take the shade Earth here and start punching this in, or not punching, we're not punching here, we are stamping the color right directly into the lash line here. All right, so you can see with this side done and this side undone, it just really adds, at least in person, it just adds a level of definition that makes your lash line look fuller. That's really all you're trying to do, right? And then I just kind of bring it out. You don't have to, just in a slight wing. And I'm still trying to perfect how that looks. I'm not the best at it. All right, and I'm gonna do the other side now. All right, so I think I'm happy with how that looks. All right, so last step is lashes, and I will curl my lashes off camera and come back. All right, and that's the finished look. So like I said, I went in with the Dalton Illegaleyes mascara that has the traditional wand. I like this mascara. It doesn't hold curl over the course of the day as well as I would like, but I have naturally straight hair and straight lashes, so that's a difficult task to do in a mascara. And then for lips, I just went with a easy nude. I went in first with the Rimmel Kate lipstick in the shade 42, and this is like a nice peachy nude. And then I went in with my favorite nude, the Becca Sugar Ultimate Lipstick in the shade Sugar. So that's the final look. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me, and thank you for watching. Bye.